Hello, this is Dale Solander with Old Colony Sportsmen's Association in Pembroke, Mass. The video you're about to watch is Toby Leary speaking at our April membership meeting about the work of the Civil Rights Coalition and the effort to repeal Chapter 135. I am putting a challenge out to the other clubs in Massachusetts. Watch to the end and meet or exceed the donation that we have made on behalf of our members and the club. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Okay, tonight's meeting's gonna operate a little different. We have a guest speaker that's gonna speak now, Toby Leary. He is responsible. Toby, correct me if I'm wrong, you started the movement to shut down that new 135.
Yeah, I mean,
Make sure it's on.
there we go. I hate to take credit for it because so many people were really involved, and I know you guys were all very helpful collecting signatures. A few of us got together and said, you know, what can we do? And really what it came down to was a ballot committee was what we felt was the path of least resistance that could, at a grassroots level, get everybody involved. So, yeah, I'm the chairman, but believe me, there's a lot of shoulders I'm standing on. I can't really take the credit a lot. Everybody just went to work, rolled up their sleeves, and did what needed to be done. So, yeah.
So, you wanna just tell the progress,
Yeah.
where it's going, where it's been?
Yeah, I'd love to, and thank you guys for coming out tonight. This is a great crowd. I'm used to some of the clubs I remember growing up and going to, and you'd be lucky to get a quorum, but I like the passion here that you guys are all coming out and supporting the club. That's very, very encouraging because, you know, unfortunately for us in this state, we're a vast minority as far as gun owners. However, there's 600,000 of us. If we really band together like you are all doing tonight, and like we did for the signature campaign, and like we can do, that we are a force to be reckoned with. Now we are a major voting bloc. We are a major interest group in the state of Massachusetts that can't be ignored. And I feel like what the governor did last year, for those who don't know, she passed Chapter 135. She signed it into law that the legislature rammed through in the worst way possible. And Maura Healey signed it into law. We decided to launch the Civil Rights Coalition, which is the ballot committee, to challenge this, get it on the 2026 ballot. More importantly, we were hoping to get the law suspended with enough signatures. We needed 35,000 signatures-ish to get the law on the ballot, to get it put on the ballot. We needed about 50,000 signatures to get the law suspended. About halfway after launching the ballot committee, it became very apparent that we were going to check that box and get 50,000 signatures. So Maura Healey decided to come out in 71 days after the fact, after signing it into law, sign an emergency preamble, which meant that the law would go into effect immediately and couldn't be suspended by the will of the people. And for somebody who, you know, bangs the pulpit and says that everything is a threat to democracy, she certainly inserted herself into the democratic process and thwarted, and, you know, we very much knew this was entirely possible. But what it did was it flushed her out for, frankly, the tyrant that she really is. And I believe it is exposing and making the rest of us kind of wake up and warm up to the fact that rights A are worth protecting, and B, there's people who aren't gun owners that don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak, that still believe in their civil rights. And I think it was 60% or 70% of the people who signed our petition, which we ended up getting over 100,000 signatures with the help of clubs like you and the people out there that did their part and circulated these petitions in 5 weeks. That's an amazing accomplishment in this state. It is like miraculous. There's I think the record prior to that was one of the past ballot committees that got, I think, 140,000 signatures in 9 weeks. We get 100,000 in 5 weeks, and that was without a single paid signature gatherer, which is entirely unique to our ballot committee. Most ballot committees, they have people that stand in front of the dump or the grocery store, and they get paid anywhere from $4 to $9 per certified signature that they collect. When we got an estimate on how much that would cost to get 50,000 signatures, it was $1.2 million or something like that. I said, well, I guess we're gonna do it ourselves. And again, people like you rolled up your sleeves and got to work. But what the biggest blessing in all of this is, the grassroots movement has caused us to get arm in arm and start to fight and claw back. And there were so many people that said, our rights are worth preserving. I've never voted before, but I'm gonna go register to vote just so I can sign this petition and so that I can vote for my rights back on election day in 2026. That's a movement. That is something that was started and put into motion that we can now grease the wheels and grease the skids and cause a tremendous momentum to be had by election day. Hopefully we'll have, instead of 100,000, we'll have 2 million people that see it our way. So that's the kind of the status of where we are. We're about to kick off officially this phase of what we call the second phase. We've got the first phase done, mission accomplished, we're on the ballot in 2026. Phase 2 is now to educate the public and say, hey, your rights have just been eroded by a bunch of people that sit in the State House and a signature by the governor. Who else is okay with your rights being taken away by those people, fundamentally? And what other right are you willing to have eroded to the extent that the Second Amendment has been eroded? You know, ask anybody. They're like, I don't like my rights going away. So once we can warm people up to the idea that rights are sovereign, they should never be voted away. They are granted by our Creator, they're not granted by man, so therefore man can't take them away. And really, it removes the whole Second Amendment issue. As important that is to all of us, there's a lot of people it's not really that important to, but rights in general, civil rights in general, are very important to them. And if eventually some right is going to be eroded, and you know, if it can just be voted away by the legislature, then it's not a right, it's a privilege. So that's the message going forward. We're going to kick off phase 2 on April 19th at the place where it all started, the Lexington Battle Green, where the shot heard around the world, the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War. We're going to reenact the midnight ride. We're leaving Boston at 3 a.m. on motorcycles we're going to have iron horses instead of actual horses. And we're going to ride the route that Paul Revere rode and end up in Lexington, be there for the reenactment. We have a press conference at 1. We have Colonel Allen West coming. We got Dick Heller coming. We have Cam Edwards from Bearing Arms. We have what's that?
Jared's coming.
Yeah, Jared Yanis from Guns and Gadgets. We have Adam Kraut from the Second Amendment Foundation. We got Doug Hamlin, the Executive Vice President of the NRA. The Goal people will be there, I'll be there. It's gonna be an epic day. And then we're all gonna get together for dinner at night, so I wanna formally invite all of you, if you wanna come, jump in. You can go over to goal.org and sign up. You can also go to the civilrightscoalition.com and sign up for the Midnight Ride if you wanna brave the cold and the darkness and wake a few people up along the way. But that's really what the whole campaign's about, wake some people up. We gotta wake people up that our rights are worth preserving, your rights are worth preserving, your rights are worth clawing back from the people who don't have any right to take them away in the first place. So that's the mission, and we're really excited. I'm very encouraged, and when you guys told me why I'm here tonight, I was blown away. So I think you all should have a big round of applause for what you've accomplished, because it's awesome. So go ahead, give yourselves a round of applause.
Okay, Dale has been coordinating all this for our club, so he has something to say.
Yeah, so back in January, February, we asked all of you to reach in your pockets and make a donation towards fighting Chapter 135, and that the club would match up to $5,000 of that. I want to put this out to all the other clubs in Massachusetts to have a similar campaign so we can raise the money so that Toby and the rest of them can educate the public. So tonight, we're here to present Toby and the Civil Rights Coalition with a check for $10,552.63.
This is an amazing accomplishment, guys. Yeah, let's get a picture, all right? Hold on a minute. Big check, figuratively and literally. All right, so the challenge, you guys have set the gauntlet, right? You've thrown down the gauntlet and challenged all the other clubs. This is a great example of what can be done. And we're up against the Soros money and the Bloomberg money and the Everytown and the March for Our Lives and the Moms Demand Action and the Brady and the Giffords, all the usual suspects. They have been known to drop between $10 and $30 million on a ballot campaign in a state. That's what we're up against. Fortunately, some of their money might have gone away since USAID got closed. More on that later. But the truth of the matter is, they're still willing to put big money into states for a ballot initiative campaign. The good news is we are going to punch way above our weight class. We already have. The money that's been raised has been put to good causes to further the agenda this is the second biggest donation we've received so far. Smith & Wesson really stepped up to the plate. I hope you guys will support them. They sent $50,000, which I think was remarkable. And most gun companies haven't even answered our call or our email, replied to our email. Mark Smith, the CEO of Smith & Wesson, knows what we're up against. The reason they're in Tennessee is because of politicians in this state. They've already chased an entire company that was born here out of our state. So they really linked up with us. They donated, and they said, keep fighting. That was the message to you guys, keep fighting. And I think this is a great example of what can be done, and I'm gonna use it to challenge all the other clubs. And I believe we will get out of this what we put into it. You know, there's no such thing as, if any of you have ever taken a defensive firearms class, the saying is, there's nobody coming to save you, right? That's why we have self-reliance. That's why we take our own safety we take personal responsibility for our own safety. We know, like the old saying, when seconds matter, police are only minutes away, or so we carry a gun because a cop is too big to fit in our back pocket, right? So because we have to take responsibility for our own safety, the same has bode true about our rights. There's no one coming to save us. There's no one riding over the sunset at dusk to save us. We are our own first responders when it comes to our rights. So if we don't do it, who will? And if we don't do it now, then when are we gonna do it, right? So I believe you guys are up to the challenge. That's why you're here. Now it's our job to wake everybody else up. All those 600,000 that are sometimes hard to stir and sometimes hard to convince to get out and vote. I hate to say this statistic, but it's true. In a non-national election, gun owners in Massachusetts, it's less than 20% actually go vote. So that's something that has to change, and this is our rally cry to change it. And I believe we're well on our way. And plus, there's a lot more people who are registered to vote and willing to link arm in arm with us. So thank you guys again for all you did. This is awesome, and I'm really excited to put in the newsletter and thank Old Colony Sportsman Association for what you did, and challenge everybody else, because we all got to do our part. So we'll put it to good use. So God bless. Thank you guys.
Well, there you go. That's the video. And yes, we are challenging all the other clubs in Massachusetts to have a fundraiser amongst their members with some form of matching donation. You can reach out to the Civil Rights Coalition to get that donation in. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.